no money, that's an asshole. It wasn't a phase.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Senior Citizen Podcast, and we are here for the first time with the whole band with the Flirt.
Hey,
You have to lean in to talk, homie.
Their microphones.
Alright, how you guys doing today?
we're doing pretty good. We're really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
And I want to thank you guys for coming out. Super excited. When I listened to you guys' single, I was obsessed. Like, I tried to get you guys on before because I was like super excited for it, and I think you guys are a great group. When I saw the pictures of Cassie like singing in Tough Times, I was obsessed. I was like, why does this place look so much cooler in pictures? But yeah, I want to hear a little bit about your story, Cassie, because I know that you were on American Idol, or at least auditioned for it to some degree. So how was your story with them?
So basically, I got asked through Instagram. They found me on social media, and they just asked me to audition. I was like, okay, yeah, I had auditioned for American Idol and The Voice like so many times before, and it never ended up working out. Like, basically from the age of like 15 to 18, I was auditioning like multiple times a year.
Oh, wow.
And then when I think I was 20, last year, and they asked me and I did it. It was super fun experience. Honestly, the best thing I got out of it was just like the friends that I made, because being around like-minded individuals who are all reaching for the same goal is really what connected all of us. It was a short journey for me. I got the golden ticket, which was insane. And then I went on to Hollywood Week. I made it through Hollywood Week, but I didn't make it past that point. So, and Hollywood Week is obviously in LA, which was insane as well. But yeah, the whole experience was super fun. Definitely a whole learning experience more than anything. I don't know if I would necessarily go on a show like that again, just because I feel like it's pretty scripted, and even though it was a fun experience and it was free, like I didn't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
It just kind of like takes a lot out of you, you know. Like after I didn't make it through, like I was just like questioning my whole life. I was like,
Oh no.
am I meant to be a singer? Like, is this really for me? I don't know.
Well, that's actually what I was going to follow up with. Like, you were auditioning multiple times a year, and I know how, like, mentally draining that could be. Like, how'd you work through that?
I mean, being under 18 and getting like constant rejection is definitely really hard. But
Being over 18 and getting constantly rejected is not fun.
Yeah, but like, I mean, definitely being over 18 too at any age, like being rejected all the time is not great. But especially being like in high school and, you know, just not that I wasn't doing it on my own, but like I had really support from my dad was the most like thing. And that was really what got me through it, because he was the one that was like pushing me. He was like, just because you get no, like doesn't mean that you won't get a yes, you know? And I was so young at the time, like I really didn't understand. I was just like, they must just hate me. Like, I just don't understand, like, why they keep asking me to come back and audition, but they never give me a yes. So, like, what's the point? Like, is this, like, for fun? Like, I don't understand. So he was really the one that gave me, like, his wisdom and just kind of kept pushing me to keep going. And you know, eventually it ended up paying off, because I was able to at least get a golden ticket, which is a huge accomplishment on its own, aside from, you know, moving through the show.
I saw the articles. It was like, girl from Coral Springs does it.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a fever dream, the whole thing. And I'm really happy that it happened. And I feel like it also kind of led me to like start this band, because we, like when I was doing American Idol, like I don't think we weren't a band yet. We didn't even know each other, actually. And I feel like that kind of like pushed me to start this project and led us here. So I'm grateful for it either way.
Well, you are totally giving like Hayley Williams strong front woman vibe. We were just mentioning, you know, Hayley Williams before this all started. But how did the band come together? If everybody wants to like, you know, chime in on, you know, how they got to be in the Flirt.
I can go.
It's your turn to speak. Raise your hand.
Pass the talking stick around.
The talking stick. Oh my God, I remember when we did that. So from my point of view, the band kind of started. So I was actually in another band with some good friends of mine called we were called American Animal. I was with them for maybe 7 months. We were just like really rehearsing, writing, but we weren't really like gigging. I was like, yo, like when are we gonna do it? You know. And nothing really came about. While I was in that band, Cassie actually hit me up. Actually, no, I think it was her boyfriend, Steven. He's in another band called Dirty Rivals. He hit me up. He was like, hey, my girlfriend really likes your guitar playing. She would like for you to come and audition. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. It was very wishy-washy because I was already in this project. And it was just kind of like, like I don't know, like but basically a bunch of things led up to me leaving that band, and I remember she still wanted me to audition. It was like 2 days after. Basically, she puts on her story, "Hey, I'm looking for a guitarist and a drummer." I immediately swiped up. I was like, "Hey, listen, sorry for being really wishy-washy. You know what? Let's forget about all that. And I'm really the guy. I'm really the guitarist." And
shout out to you for not holding a grudge, because I'm petty.
Honestly,
I would have been like, hold on, let me think about this. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I got another candidate in mind.
Honestly, yeah, and so I'm glad she didn't do that, because I always known about her singing, because I've followed her on Instagram for like years, so like we kind of like knew that we both did like just music. So I hit her up, blah blah blah, boom, and then basically that's it. So after I sent that message, we kind of like started talking about the we started talking just about the band and everything, and led up to all of us jamming together. It was actually me, her, and JJ that were like the first three. He came later. We were the first three to basically just run songs and kind of practice, and that was the beginning of the band. So.
All right, so if the next in line was JJ, kind of in the beginning, and then we'll move on to Kyle.
All right, so wait, which one should I use? Like
Whichever one you like better.
Okay.
Pick your favorite.
I bet. So.
Nice. Aww.
Yeah. All right. That works. So basically, with me, it all started when I was still in this music program in Miami called School of Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that since I was like, Kyle, I swear to God, man. I was doing that since I was in like 9th grade.
Mm.
And basically, like, that's where like my drumming started and all that. And throughout the years, like I was like in multiple bands like once at a time. So like at one time I was in like 6 bands at once, and one of them was actually a singing boy band. And it didn't even like last that long because we didn't even like have like any shows. Like we were just like rehearsing.
Did you have any choreographies? Like,
not really. Like we would literally just like practice and just like learn the lyrics like on a screen, kind of like a karaoke machine almost.
I'm slightly disappointed, but okay, carry on.
But it's actually like I'm actually glad like it didn't happen, because like first off I would have never met these dudes right here. And so basically with me I was just in multiple bands at a time, and like stuff wasn't really like working out that much, because like we would only have like 1 or 2 shows like every other weekend, and we would play at this this venue down in Coral Gables called Tea and Poets. Mm-hmm. And that was basically like my spot like all the time. Like I didn't even like explore like that many like venues at a time and stuff. So then at the time I was also still I was actually following Cassie for a while too, and like I saw one day that she said she was looking to start a band, and she was like looking for a drummer, guitarist, a bass player. And at the time I didn't even know like she lived like so far, because I actually live in Homestead. I'm like really south of Miami. Yeah. So then we were trying to coordinate, and she was like, like, where do you live? I'm like, I live all the way in Homestead. And she was like, I live all the way in Davie. And at the time, like, I didn't even have a car, so like I wasn't even able to like get to places.
Right.
So then we were just like, like, we'll figure it out. That went on for like at least a year, so like we didn't really like do much.
Yeah.
So then a year later I finally got a car, and then I see again that like she posted like she's still looking to start a band, and I was like, yo, I finally got my car, let's do this.
Oh, so this wasn't like a, in a week turnaround, I found these people.
No.
Yeah, no.
Like
I mean, yes and no. Like, both of their stories are completely correct, but like it was more like for JJ, like I was starting to put a band together like a year before this actually happened, and it didn't end up working out because he didn't have a car. And then I kind of like gave up on it, and then a year later I had posted on my story saying like I want to start a band, and that's when both of them, Sebastian and JJ, both reached out to me, and they were like, let's do this. And then we like met
It was
up.
the same story?
It was the same story post.
That's
literally.
so funny.
Yeah, the same story
the same
post.
one.
And that was actually the first time that I had ever like posted being like, I'm looking to do this, because I was kind of scared. I didn't want people to know just in case like it failed. So I was more just like reaching out to people individually. And then eventually I posted it and it ended up working out. We jammed once, and I was like, this is it. Like, you guys are in. Like, this is, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Right.
And then with Kyle, he came like a few weeks later because him and
No,
I
it
don't
was
know
like
exactly.
It was like a few months.
It was
ago.
maybe a
how did
few
you stumble
months.
upon it, Kyle?
Like a month and a half,
like
maybe.
yeah, you tell.
Well, I've known Sebastian for probably like 6 years.
Yeah.
I met him at School of Rock, Coral Springs, roughly like 2016, I think.
Whoa, I've drove like past that, but I no
Which-
clue what
Coral
it is.
Springs
Wait, that one's
man.
legendary for us.
a
Like,
little
here, talk
legendary.
close to the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
that-
producer Kyle here.
Okay, producer Kyle.
Yeah, that School of Rock's legendary. Cassie used to
is.
work there. I met Sebastian there. We have like lots of history there. He went to School of Rock too. Like School of Rock's big in just the formation of us,
Yeah.
even if it's just not because that's what got us playing and got us.
Right.
Like, the first gig he ever had, I was
The
playing
first
with him.
gig I ever had was with him, and it was at before
what, American
School of
Rock Bar?
and it was it was at American Rock Bar. Now it's not American Rock Bar anymore. It's like Irish pub. It's like an Irish pub
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, but yeah. So then he came on like a couple months after for this because we didn't have a bass player. We were like auditioning bass players like crazy, and we were basically just like, dude, are we ever gonna find the right guy? And then like I always had in mind like Kyle, like yo Kyle, but like it just never seemed to work out. Then so a couple months go by, I actually get an opportunity to go play in Dallas
Okay.
for a guitar competition that I entered and I got on it. It's called 10 out of 20. No, it's
The 10 under 20.
10 under 20. So thousands of guitarists all over the country. They submit audition tapes. I got chosen. We go to play in Dallas. I wanted to bring the full band there because I'm like, I want to do this with, you guys. So we ended up just talking to Kyle, like, yo, and I think you also maybe like,
I called you.
like you called me and stuff, and you were like, oh, dude.
We started working on cover gigs, I think.
We started working on cover gigs. So
What
he
were
was
you guys
already,
covering?
Oh man,
Literally
everything,
everything. Like you
man.
name it, man. Like,
Man, we were playing Taylor Swift, man. I mean, come
Oh, I
on.
love it.
Yeah,
Like
I
old
mean,
school
it's
Taylor
all-
Swift, or-
Yeah, dude,
Oh.
awesome.
I had I'm Only Me When I'm With You come on my playlist the other day, and I was like, whoa!
It's
I
so
forgot this
good.
was a
I mean,
thing.
they're great songs, man. They're
Yeah.
produced so well.
Yeah.
And so he was already like in the rotation of like fill-in guys. And then we said, screw it, let's make a trip out of it. Let's just go to Dallas. And then we all went. We played. That was the band's first ever gig. It was in Dallas.
Cool stuff.
First ever like the Flirt gig. Well, we were called Black Boulevard at the
oh
time.
yeah.
Okay.
We were
Yeah.
just Sebastian Silva because it was just
Well, I
you.
mean, it was under my name because, well, but whatever. It was still Black Boulevard.
Right.
Now the Flirt. So it's.
So how did that name switch come along?
Oh yeah, good question. You guys want to explain that?
Oh, dude.
It was
Do
too.
you
It was
wanna-
too.
do you wanna
Boulevard
explain-
of Broken Dreams for you,
Do you
or
want to
what?
explain the matching tattoos also?
Oh, the dude.
Okay,
yeah.
so basically, I feel like it's kind of my fault that we switched the name because one, we came up with Black Boulevard not on a whim, but like I was just like so ready to get this going because I've been trying to put this together for so long that I was like, okay, Black Boulevard. Everyone agreed. We were like, cool. And then like me and Sebastian have matching like bee tattoos.
Okay.
They're stick and poke. So
I can tell.
which we got like for Black Boulevard. And then literally like a week later, I was listening to this song and it just had this lyric which was down with the flirt. And I was like, that's a really cool lyric. I feel like that just like kind of not embodies me. It's just like, I don't know. I just thought it was a really cool lyric. And then our friend, I told him about it and he was like, oh, that'd be a cool band name, John. He will hate
Thanks,
me if
John.
I don't say his name. Yeah, shout out to John, real one. But he was like, that'd be a super cool band name. And then I started asking, I asked my boyfriend, I had him ask his band members because I was like, I need to know, like, is this actually good or is he fucking with me? And then one of his band members was like, what about Just the Flirt? And I was like, I really like that. And basically me and Sebastian were like on the same page. We both really liked the name. Kyle was like, he didn't really care. Not that he didn't care, but he was just like, yeah, like it's good.
Kyle just goes
I
with the
care.
flow,
Yeah.
man.
Well, I care more about the people we're playing with. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, the group itself, I don't give a crap about the name.
He's
Like,
more
that
about the
doesn't mean-
music. He's not really like he doesn't like anything else. Like he's like, yeah, sure, go go for it.
Have fun.
But JJ was like super against the name. He was like, that's horrible. Like Black Boulevard is so much better.
You
and
almost
like,
lost your drummer over this.
it literally took us like, I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks or 3 weeks for him to actually accept it.
I don't think he's accepted the name.
I mean,
change yet.
he's never like fully been like, actually that's a lie.
It's time to confess it. JJ, do you finally agree with this name?
Well, I mean, like, now I do because, like, I've pretty much, like, gotten used to it. But it took me, like, a fat minute to get used to it. Because, like, even, like, when they decided to change the name, I was like, can you guys, like, give me at least, like, a couple of weeks to, like, come up with at least, like, a better name? And so, like, that's what they did. They gave me at least, like, a week or two. And, you know, I was just, like, giving out ideas and stuff.
They all sucked.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they actually, like,
They're
well,
all booty
okay,
cheeks, bro.
at least, well, to me, like, most of them did kind of suck, but there was a couple of them that I thought were, like, actually, like, pretty good, but they just didn't really like it. So I was just like, you know what? At this point, like, it doesn't really even matter. Like, if you guys like the name, then I'll just have to get used to it. And so, as we started using the band name, I was just like, bro, I do not like this, man. Like, this is not right. Like,
He was like, oh man, you know, he was saying, oh, it's too glittery, it's too poppy, it's too this, it's too that.
And here I am with a glitter t-shirt.
So we made a
Yeah,
glitter
glitter
shirt of
t-shirt.
it to be like,
You know what I
is it
mean?
glittery? Great, yeah.
well, it's
glittery.
because, like, at the time, like, I wasn't really, like, open to, like, newer stuff because, like, my style has always been, like, you know, like, hard rock, metal, like, heavy metal.
Just say
and just, like,
Deftones, dude.
Yeah, pretty
Just
much
say
stuff like Deftones or, like, even, yeah, just, like, pretty much stuff like that. And, I was just, like, in a way, like, I was just kind of being, like, selfish now that I think about it because, like,
Facts.
Selfish.
because, like, I wasn't really, like, open to it because, like, I was just thinking about, like, what would be best for, like, not just, like, myself, but also for, like, what other people are going to think. And, like, I wasn't really, like, I wasn't being fair with it that well. So, I gave it time. And then as I started seeing, like, more and more people starting to, like the band name, I was just like, you know what? It might not be so bad.
Right.
So that's how I got used to it, and, like, that's why I like it now.
Well, I think something like big in this genre of music is not really caring what anybody else
No,
thinks.
yeah, of
like, you
course.
know, what the hell?
Yeah, that's why, like, I thought to myself, you know, like, I was being, like, really selfish about it.
Yeah.
And, like, I wasn't really giving it a chance.
You weren't in your girl boss mindset, you know?
Exactly.
Damn, fast.
But I have to be honest, when I found, like, the band name is probably the first thing that stuck out to me because it was very cool. Then I listened to the single and I was like, wow, this is great.
You see, there you go. Like,
and then
you
that's when I was
it.
like, and in all honesty, I was like, I want a band with a female fronted vocalist because there is a lot of misogyny in this scene. And I want to hear maybe a little bit because you nodded so quick. I feel like you got something to say about this. So, girl.
Hold up. I'm gonna fix it for you, bro, right here.
I don't have like specific scenarios that like really made me feel this way about like being a woman in not just music but in rock music specifically, because I feel like there's a lot of like bias out there about, because it's very saturated with men. Like most bands are male led, not even just like here locally in the scene, but like literally all over the world. Like
in general, yes.
It's just, we were literally just talking about this lineup that got posted for, I don't know, some
Glastonbury.
festival. And everyone's going crazy because it's like mostly, I guess.
It's 53% men.
It's 53% men and it's not like enough women. I don't know, but it's just like, it's obvious that like the music industry is oversaturated with male artists and like male-led bands for sure. But I just feel like growing up, like being a woman and like being like a Hispanic woman too, like not that I've had any like hardships with it, but it's just been like really annoying to like see all the men like surpass just because like it's easier for them and like people listen to them more, like they take their ideas way more seriously than mine. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that I had like all like guys behind me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just felt that was really important to me to have like guys behind me, but guys who are like on my side and who are going to listen to my ideas, take me seriously. And like some of my biggest influences are like female-led bands like Paramore for sure, or Hailstorm is another big one, just because they've really shown me that like you can do rock as a woman, because for the longest time I was doing pop and I was like not sure that rock was really my thing. Like I was like, I don't know if I fit in here. Like I just, especially with my type of voice, I have a very like clean sounding voice. I don't sound like rah, 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 you know. I don't scream or anything like that. So yeah, I I love that we're female fronted, obviously, because I am the female, but I definitely think that it helps us stand out. And it's really important for me, at least, to like show other women that like, if this is what you want to do, like do it. Just because like men are like trying to whatever, like they want to take over the industry, whatever, like it's not like that and it shouldn't be like that. So if this is what you want to do, like you just have to go for it. And at the end of the day, it's going to make you stand out. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I love it. You're stepping off the soapbox now. Yeah, no, I love it. And it's funny how, like, we don't even need to have, like, certain specific scenarios, but at some point in time, we have felt intimidated in this scene. And I think that was something that played into part of me falling. I have no musicality whatsoever, so I will not be joining any bands. But even doing this podcast, like, that was something that was, like, lingering. Like, oh, God. And then the fact that I don't know everything about every freaking metal band or post-hardcore band or local band ever. Like, no, I can't store all that knowledge. And, you have that feeling of fear of running into people who are going to be like, oh, you don't know about this?
It's scary. I will tell you, it is very scary.
They get hyped about it. They're like, what do you mean you don't know this? It's like, dude. But yeah.
Yeah.
So Kyle, you were in School of Rock.
Yes, I was in School of Rock.
I'm still lingering on this because somebody that I had interviewed before actually started his band, not because he went to School of Rock, but because of the movie School of Rock with Jack Black.
That's a classic.
Well, that's a classic too.
That's a classic.
Like Jack Black and Tenacious D have been like, I grew up on that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I tried to tell my mom, I was like, hey, can I go to Tenacious D when I was like 10? Like, no way.
Didn't work out.
It didn't work out. But I still watched all the videos online and like learned all the stuff. And I've been playing guitar for probably 10 years, 11 years, I think.
Really? Oh.
10, 12, I don't know.
We're all learning a little bit about everybody else today. See that?
Yeah. And I've known Sebastian since 2016.
Yeah.
School of Rock really was a big stepping stone for me. I used to do the summer camps, and just being able to play live and play with other musicians who had like a passion for it was so big. And I could tell when Sebastian got there, he had this little acoustic guitar and was trying to do his almost tapping stuff, his Van Halen stuff on this little acoustic, and he was killing it. And I was like, this kid is killing it, bro. And I'm so happy we became friends then and like now, and it ended up becoming this.
I love it. It's a Power of Friendship anime ending.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, I was like, when I was at School of Rock, I literally had no guitar. Like, I didn't have a guitar. I was playing, maybe, how old was I in 2016? I was like maybe like 13 years old playing. So I was playing guitar without an electric and just acoustically for maybe like 4 years, give or take. And then I pull up to School of Rock. Everybody has like all these like nice electric guitars, and everybody has this. And there was this thing where it was like, where you would go up and you would play something like in front of everybody, kind of see like where you're at or whatever. And then I pull up with my little it's like this Yamaha Junior acoustic. Guitar players out there will know what it is. It's like this really small guitar, right? And everybody just starts laughing at me. I was like, damn, I don't want to go up. And then everybody, and then the teacher, and then he was also like, dude, just go up and play, bro. They gave me an electric guitar. And I start playing, what I knew at the time of Eruption by Eddie Van Halen. And nobody, like, expected it. And then everybody kind of just shut the hell up. And then that's when, I'm pretty sure that was the moment that he was like, yeah, this kid, I got to play music with this kid.
Aww.
And this guy, too, I basically learned all I knew about guitar playing, like proper, like, guitar playing from him. He's, besides being an amazing bass player, he's also a really good guitar player.
Gotcha.
I mean, he's like one of my favorites. So yeah.
That's so sweet.
And when on that, just like I've been playing with him for 6 years or so. I've known him for so long, and I've shown him so much stuff and influences that the reason I love playing bass is because you do what I want to do, but better, and do more shreddy and you have different influences than me, but you still have that structure that I love playing with.
Yeah.
Which is why I love playing bass with you.
Right.
Like, I'm picky about who I play bass with. You know that.
I'm picky about my musicians too, which is why I'm like to the grave with these guys, man.
I'm pretty sure we're all like picky with like who we play with.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's. I think it's, you know, because we take this, you know, can I curse? Can I curse?
Yes,
on
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
We, we take this shit really seriously, you know what I mean? We kind of live and breathe by it, so.
No, and you can tell, and you know, where would you guys like to see the Flirt in a couple years? Like, you guys have booked great gigs, because seeing you at the Panther Stadium, I was like, oh, shit. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we all want to play, like, the biggest places. Like, obviously, that's important to any musician. Like, we would love to play, like, Madison Square Garden. And actually, like, a few months ago, or maybe like 6 months ago, me and Sebastian actually made a deal. It's on camera, it's on video, and I was drunk, I can't lie, so I don't know if I can really stick to this, but we were talking about, like, how many years do you think it's going to take for us to play Madison Square Garden? How many years did you say?
I think I said 5 years.
You said 5, and I was like,
4.
give it 2. I was like, now looking back on it, like, 2 years to play Madison Square Garden is a pretty big goal, but I don't think it's unattainable. I feel like
Anything's possible.
people move up in this industry like this overnight.
Yeah.
Like, social media has made it so that literally overnight you can become like the biggest pop star pretty much. So that's like one of our biggest goals, but I feel like locally we really want to play Revolution Live. That's a big one for us.
Oh, you'll be there.
And we actually just got asked to play a show at Respectable Street, which was one of our like goal venues, like down here, or I guess it's in West Palm, but you know, in South Florida.
Everything's down here.
Yeah, it's just down here.
South Florida's its own.
Yeah, but we just got asked to play that, so I feel like that was like a big stepping stone for us, just being asked to play that show. And like the next step after that is like Revolution Live, and we're also trying to play like out of town shows. We've been doing like some Orlando, Tampa, stuff like that, and eventually the goal is to, you know, move out of state, you know, not move, but like, you know, start
Play
doing
some
shows out of state, other than like the Dallas thing. But we want to kind of do like a mini tour maybe this summer or like this fall or something like that, which would be really cool. So
That's awesome, and I can see that happening for you guys. You guys are going to be huge. I can feel it. Y'all very young. I feel like a grandma right here right now.
Well, we could take a New York trip this year and just like bring some acoustics and play outside the garden. Then be like, oh, we played the garden.
There you go.
For fish.
Yeah, we can go
Yo,
for
shout
fish.
out
We'll
fish.
tailgate fish.
Shout out fish.
I like the way you think, Kyle. No, I hope that you guys, when you do make it big, save a spot for me in the pit or in the front row, you know.
always front row ticket.
You'll be
Backstage. There we go,
yes.
VIP. What else? Who here considers themselves a relationship expert?
A relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Relationship. In what?
Nobody.
Definitely
In
not
what,
me.
In what sense?
No one.
Friendship.
Yo, Steven, but she's a good one.
Honestly, I think when it comes to relationships,
We can problem solve
know,
together like we did
yeah.
the chair thing.
It's
So
a
I have
group effort.
I have a relationship advice post, and we're going to step into some people's married lives. So this is a 30-year-old male writing this about his wife, who's also 30, confessed I wasn't her first choice, and I am freaking out. So in order for you to understand the whole situation, I need to explain from the beginning.
okay.
I have a wife, Kate. We dated. He didn't even say if that was a fake name or not. Yo, Kate. I have a wife, Kate. We dated for 3 years before getting married 4 years ago. We have known each other for around 10 years. We met in college, and initially we were just friends. I started liking her after a couple of months, but I was too shy and cowardly to confess. I had problems as a child, so my self-esteem is -1 out of 10. In our friend group, there was this other guy, Mark. Fuck you, Mark. Mark was the opposite of me. He was an extrovert. I was an introvert. He was the funny type, the center of the friend group. Well, you wouldn't even notice if I was gone. Kate wasn't the classic beauty. Ouch. But for me, she has always
I
been.
mean, okay.
Ouch.
I think they need a break already.
I know.
Yeah, already, man. Like, that's it.
But for me, she has always been the brightest star in the sky. Aw.
Aw.
She is kind, funny, compassionate, caring. She is the kind of woman anybody would want at his side. The year we graduated college, I was finally starting to come out of my shell. I talked more. I voiced my opinion with all my friends. All those things that until the year before looked impossible for me suddenly looks possible. I was still scared, but one day I decided to confess my feelings to Kate. She didn't answer immediately, and thinking back, I questioned why the past me never had doubted her reaction. She told me she didn't expect it and that she needed some time to think about it. For 1 week, I was more tense than a violin string. Okay, dude. So she agreed to date him, and then the past 7 years have been the happiest of their lives. Me and Kate have been happy together until now. We had fun, we joked, we laughed, and faced every problem together. Recently, though, Kate confessed to me the truth. I wasn't her first choice. Well, duh. Apparently, Apparently, during the week between my confession and her reply, she confessed to Mark and asked him out, but he rejected her. She admitted that she initially went out with me because I was a kind guy, but she wanted someone to be with. But after she knew me better, she fell in love with me for real. I know it doesn't make sense logically, but I'm freaking out. I love her and she loves me, but in my mind, I constantly feel this voice that tells me I wasn't worthy enough and that she simply settled for me after her first choice rejected her. I can't seem to focus on anything else, and this has been influencing negatively my private and work life. Dude, don't lose that bag. I need advices on what to do. So what's our consensus advice here?
Okay,
Smoke some pot.
I want to say as a guy real quick. I don't think as a guy, honestly, you're never a woman's first choice unless you're like.
You got approval from Dan.
Dan right here. No, like unless you're like 10 out of 10 model status, like Michael B. Jordan type guy, dude. You know what I mean? Like straight up, like unless you got your money up, not your funny up. Like no. I try to make it. Like honestly, you're never a girl's first choice. But the fact, I don't even think you should be worried about it if she genuinely fell in love with you after she got to know you, because then that means it's a real relationship. You know what I mean? Like, aside from, physical looks, aside from financial status or social status or wherever you may be, I feel like anybody who's gonna fall in love with you is gonna fall in love with you for you and nothing else. At the end of the day. So yeah, I think homeboy's tripping. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Homeboy's tripping.
I think homeboy's tripping. Like, just straight up. Yeah. There's nothing really else to say. I don't know. Home dog's tripping. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys found the expert. Let's see.
Okay, so from a woman's perspective, I feel like her saying you weren't the first choice is kind of like the wrong way to put things. I think that what Sebastian's saying is not true about like you're never going to be a girl's first choice, because I feel like it doesn't really work like that. Like, yes, a girl may find like one guy more attractive, and yes, like he rejected her and like that's why she went with you, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't interested in you to begin with. That didn't mean that she never had any feelings for you at all. Obviously, there was at least something there to tell her, like, let me try this out. And like Sebastian was saying, like, if you guys are in love now, like she fell in love with you, that's what really matters. You also have to remember, like, at that time, like, what, you guys just graduated college, you said? So, right? It was college,
maybe.
I think, or high school.
Something.
Just graduated something, which means that you guys must have been pretty young. And I feel like at that point in your life, everyone's kind of trying to figure themselves out. I feel like even though, like, I have a boyfriend, I've been with him happily for 4 years now, like, I feel like I'm still trying to figure myself out, and I'm 22. So I think that definitely you are tripping a little bit, just because I really think it's not like that big of a deal. It was so long ago. Like, why she decided to bring this up now, I don't know. She definitely could have kept it to herself, because it's really not that important. But yeah, go ahead.
That's the flaw part. Like, why'd you tell him?
Right.
Like,
there's no reason to tell him.
In that week, like, what? There is no reason behind that unless, like, you want to make him feel bad. Like, dude, I asked somebody else out while you asked me out. It's like, why?
I feel like that happens all the time. Like, a girl or a guy is, like, dating two people. Like, you're not exclusive.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, she's trying to figure out, like, okay, who does she like more? Who does she want to spend her life with, you know?
Yeah. And you gotta make yourself her first choice.
Exactly. That's what you should be focusing on, is, like, even though you weren't technically her first choice, like, you are the one that went on a date with her, and she ended up choosing you. So that's what's more important.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I was trying to say. And this is why I like having a girl in the band, because
you have
emotional intelligence.
Man brain.
I have man brain, and she usually always helps me see the other side of things, which is pretty cool.
The logical one.
She's the logical one, so I agree. You know what? You changed my mind, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay, that's usually the last thing, but I'm still interested in you guys' tattoos besides the stick and poke, because those look so like well done.
Yeah. Well, I actually I actually got this one done a couple days ago, as well as this one.
That
But
ink
the
is
rest,
so black.
like,
How much
yeah.
did that cost?
Nice.
Those tattoos.
So
a
okay,
leg and a kidney.
actually not really. So basically, I don't go to like a regular like tattoo shop. You know, like your basic like Inkaholic or like Tattoos by Lou or Bison Tattoos. No, I don't go to any of that. So basically, I have a family friend. Her name is Alice, and before she started doing my tattoos, shout out to Alice, by the way. She has been doing like my dad's tattoos for years, even like when I was like a little kid. And this one was actually my very first one that I got on my 18th birthday.
Aw.
So yeah, I went with my dad, and she has like her own little tattoo shop, and like yeah, like
No, they look dope.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've never seen ink like that black.
This is like a
This
week
was
ago.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, turn your arm.
That's why.
This one's wild. I mean,
No,
the lines are
they're
like
insane.
so perfect.
Yeah.
bro.
And the shading there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow.
like she did like all these except for this one because I actually got this done in Orlando a couple years ago when I went to when I had like a little trip with my friends back then.
Yeah.
And yeah, like her artwork is amazing. Like I freaking love this woman.
Yeah.
And like yeah, she did this one a couple days ago as well as that one.
Good stuff.
And yeah.
For his
But what's-
21st birthday.
What's your silhouette
yeah.
over here?
Oh.
He was waiting
we
for
go,
that
there we go,
one.
get it deep,
All right, all right.
We gonna
We're
get it
gonna
deep.
get started. So, way back when in the early 2000s, there was a band called
Oh no!
Velvet.
Don't.
There was a band called Velvet Revolver.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can tell by the pictures or by just looking at me. I'm a huge Slash fan. Okay.
Who would have thought?
I mean, yeah, right.
The hair
It's
said
like-
it all.
I mean, I'm a huge Slash fan. And I mean, when I really get into somebody, I like do deep dives, man. You know.
Yeah.
So like I really get into it. So it was after he left Guns N' Roses, he did this band called Snake Pit. He did 2 albums. He left that. And then in like 2003, he started forming this band called Velvet Revolver. So it was Slash, Duff McKagan, Matt Sorum. So like basically like the 3 main guys from, besides Axl, the 3 main guys from Guns N' Roses, plus Scott Weiland, which was Stone Temple Pilots. So it was a super group. Basically, long story short, they released a couple albums. I think it's great music, and they've influenced me a lot to the point where it's like, and the album cover is so cool. So this is the album cover off of that. So this silhouette is basically the album cover of Velvet Revolver.
Cool stuff.
And they really just influenced me. And yeah, so
I'm gonna
if y'all
Actually,
wanna-
just wanted a woman on his arm. That's,
Alright, nah.
that's really what it is.
And a tattoo is the only way to get it.
Oh damn!
So-
Oh, I just got the joke. All right, bro. All right, I see how it is. No, but yeah. So, very long story short, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I love these guys. So
No, that's so dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check them out. I didn't even know that was a thing that happened, which is why I'm like, oh, encyclopedia shit. I can't store all that info.
no, it's really cool. I mean, I definitely recommend them. Yeah.
You got any tattoos, Kyle?
Yeah, I got the White Album by the Beatles, but no text.
That's so sick.
I know.
Cassie.
I think I have like 5 or 6 tattoos. Every single one of my tattoos have been like on a whim, not planned out, and majority of them are actually Friday the 13th tattoos because they have like sales. So it's like these little small ones were all like $13. And then this one I also got on Friday the 13th. This one's like a fan favorite. I don't know why, but everyone is like
cool.
obsessed with this one. This one's probably like one of my least favorites, to be honest. The little vampire lips. Also got this one on Friday the 13th, and then I have one on my back and my side, and those were the only 2 that I didn't get on Friday the 13th, and they're like a little bit bigger. So, but none of them have any meaning whatsoever.
What's your
I kinda
favorite, though?
My favorite is actually the butterflies on my back, which you can see.
Oh, those are cute.
That was my first tattoo. So I don't know. That one just like has like a special place in my heart just because it was my first one, and I think they're really pretty, and I like the placement and everything. So, but no meaning whatsoever. I just kind of want to like be covered in tattoos by whatever I think looks good, and yeah, I don't feel like tattoos have to have meaning. So
They don't. I just like asking, like,
Yeah.
hey, because you don't even know if there was like a funny story while getting it. Then it's like,
Yeah.
whatever. But I do like that one. That one's giving like album cover vibes. Like you could use it for something.
I agree. I think actually let me not spoil our next.
You can spoil it.
single.
Safe with us.
Our next single cover will have lips involved. I will just say that.
Awesome. And when does that come out?
There's not an exact date, but we're aiming around like May, honestly. Sometime in May is probably, we just finished recording, so we're just kind of waiting to get the mix back and all that and plan everything out, marketing and all that. So probably around May,
And then
June latest.
Do a single release show, because why not?
Yeah.
Single release show. We're
Yeah.
going to be promoting it on our pages. I will be keeping it on a playlist for sure. And I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to shameless plug before we wrap it up.
The Flirt merch.
Oh, Flirt merch right here. You can get it
Made
at any
in-house.
Made
It's
in-house.
handmade.
By the Flirt.
This was actually, not gonna lie,
That's
this
the
was-
first one.
This is the first ever one.
Okay.
I decided to wear for this show because why not?
Yeah.
So you can get these shirts at any gig that we play.
Okay.
So y'all should slide out to
Or just
gigs.
shoot us a DM.
Shoot us a DM also.
A link to our website as well.
You right, link to the website.
But buy them at the shows, though.
All right, and make sure to stay in, and we'll stay looking at you guys' pages for that new single whenever it does come out. And I want to thank you guys so much for taking your time to come out here today, from Homestead, from Davie, from whatever. I'm close to Davie, so I feel your pain. And nothing. I hope you guys come back sometime soon for the Senior Citizen
Thank
podcast.
you so much for
Thank
having
you so much
us.
for having us.
Thank you. We love you guys. Thank you.